Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be talking about which supplements can actually be used to actually increase testosterone. We're going to be talking about which supplements have the most evidence, when it's appropriate to actually use them, as well as popular supplements to avoid, and so much more. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, before we get going here, I do think it is extremely important to give one major caveat here, and that is that technically speaking, if you structure your diet properly, none of these supplements are absolutely necessary. At the end of the day, the most effective ways to naturally optimize your testosterone levels are to eat a nutrient-rich diet, to exercise properly, to sleep properly, as well as to manage your stress levels and sun exposure. However, if one or more of these lifestyle factors are out of whack and you're finding it difficult to manage, some of these supplements can make a meaningful difference. And then the second caveat that I want to give here is that if you're already young, healthy, and fit, a lot of these supplements aren't going to have a meaningful difference. Yes, optimizing your dietary protocol and your supplementation protocol can help to naturally raise your testosterone levels, but it's only going to be by a few points, maybe to a few hundred points. And if you're already healthy and fit and already have higher levels of testosterone, you're not going to really notice any meaningful difference by taking these supplements, especially when it comes to your physique. However, if you're someone who hasn't paid attention to their diet in years, or if you're finding it difficult to manage other lifestyle factors, there are a handful of supplements that are on this list that might actually make a meaningful difference. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the first supplement on our list, and that is a multivitamin. Now, I know a multivitamin isn't a super sexy or super flashy supplement to lead off with here. However, it's probably one of the most important to consider if you're trying to optimize your testosterone levels. And the reason for that is that multivitamins contain the vitamins and the minerals that are absolutely essential for proper bodily function, including hormone production. Now, multivitamins do fit into a category of supplements that I like to call foundational supplements. However, that's not to say that a multivitamin is absolutely necessary. You can get all of the vitamins and minerals that you need from a properly designed diet. However, again, for those of you that are not used to paying attention to the nutrient content of your food, a multivitamin can play a very critical role of helping you to obtain all the vitamins and the minerals that your body needs in order to produce testosterone. Now, vitamins and minerals like vitamin D and zinc tend to get a ton of attention when it comes to vitamins and minerals that are able to augment testosterone production. But one of the primary reasons for this is that these are some of the only vitamins and minerals that actually have clinical research to support their effectiveness at increasing testosterone levels. However, with that being said, there are a handful of vitamins and minerals that play some sort of role when it comes to hormonal regulation. And because of this, pretty much all of your vitamins and minerals are important at some degree or another at optimizing testosterone levels. And because of this, if you're not super certain that you're meeting all of your nutrient needs through your diet, a multivitamin can play a critical role of helping to ensure that you're getting all of your vitamins and minerals in order to optimize natural testosterone production. Now, another foundational supplement that I like to include in this list when it comes to vitamins and minerals is magnesium. And the reason for this is there's actually a couple of reasons for this. One is that even if you're taking a multivitamin every single day and you're relying on that multivitamin to kind of cover the gaps in your nutrient intake from your diet, you're likely not going to be getting an appreciable amount of magnesium from your multivitamin. And the reason for that is that your body requires several hundred milligrams of magnesium per day in order to meet just basic bodily functions, including optimal testosterone production. However, it's extremely impractical for supplement manufacturers to include magnesium in a multivitamin without forcing you to take several capsules per day in order to include the magnesium in the multivitamin formula. And so because of this, even if you're taking a multivitamin for the purpose of meeting your vitamin and mineral needs, a separate magnesium supplement is often needed in order to fill that gap in magnesium intake. Now, the second reason that magnesium is such an important foundational supplement to consider is because it's one of the few vitamins and minerals that actually has evidence, clinical research, to support its ability to increase testosterone. Now, magnesium appears to do this primarily by lowering levels of sex hormone binding globulin, which frees up more testosterone for biological activity, but it also appears to increase the activity of enzymes involved in testosterone production, reduce oxidative stress in the testes, increase luteinizing hormone production, improve sleep quality, as well as insulin sensitivity, all of which appear to have a positive modulatory effect on the production of testosterone in the male body. And then another reason you should consider a magnesium supplement is that it's estimated that up to 80% of the American population is deficient in magnesium. And the reason for this is that many of the food products that are high in magnesium simply don't absorb very well. And the reason for this is that the magnesium that's found in several plant sources, which coincidentally most of the high magnesium foods that exist are plants, many of these plants store magnesium alongside molecules like phytate and oxalate, which makes these magnesium molecules extremely difficult for the human body to absorb. And then many of the animal sources of magnesium, namely fish, most people just simply don't consume a lot of fish. And so unless you do consume a lot of fish, which does contain very high amounts of bioavailable magnesium, you're likely not getting enough magnesium through your diet. Now, there are several ways to supplement with magnesium. One is by simply taking magnesium capsules in the evening time, which has the secondary benefit of improving sleep quality. But one of the preferred ways of taking magnesium supplement is throughout the day by adding it into your drinking water. And this is the method I personally prefer, by adding in things like either magnesium chloride flakes or liquid magnesium drops that also contain a lot of trace minerals, or by even adding things like Epsom salt into your drinking water. You can kind of increase the magnesium content of your water and thereby increase the daily intake of magnesium. However, there's also another easy way of increasing your magnesium intake throughout the day, and that is with our video sponsor today, Element. Now, for those of you that aren't quite aware yet, Element is a optimally blended form of electrolytes that contains an optimal blend of sodium, potassium, as well as magnesium. And so if you're looking to increase your electrolyte intake as well as your magnesium intake throughout the day, one of the most convenient and tastiest ways to do that is with my friends over at Element. All you have to do is simply open up these individual packets and pour it into your water throughout the day, including the office or the gym or wherever the heck you are, and you have a fantastic drink to help replenish electrolytes. And so if you are interested in something like this, make sure to check out the link down below. They're currently offering you guys a free sample pack with any order, or go to drinkelement.com/nutrition-library to snag this offer. Now, the third foundational supplement that I want to talk about while we're on the topic of minerals is a supplement known as boron. Now, again, like magnesium, one of the reasons that you should consider taking a boron supplement is because it is not typically found in a multivitamin, and it's fairly difficult to get through the diet unless you know exactly what you're doing and are eating like the optimal amounts of dried fruit. But the second reason that you should consider a boron supplement is because it's, again, one of the only micronutrients, one of the only vitamins or minerals that has clinical research to support its effectiveness at increasing testosterone levels. Now, it's not exactly clear exactly how boron increases testosterone levels or improves the function of the testes. However, it is thought that it is able to decrease levels of sex hormone binding globulin, thereby increasing free testosterone. But it's also thought to influence the enzymes involved in testosterone synthesis and breakdown, influence vitamin D metabolism, and could also increase testosterone through its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activity. Now, Now, again, you can increase your dietary intake of boron through consuming things like raisins and figs and dates and other dried fruits. However, if you know that you have lower levels of testosterone, if you've taken some sort of test, which if you've never had your testosterone levels checked, you can actually find a link to that down in the description. However, if you do know that you have lower levels of testosterone, taking a higher level of boron, say in the range of 10 to 12 milligrams per day through supplementation, might actually be more beneficial than simply increasing your dietary intake through dried fruit intake. If you know that you have lower levels of testosterone, aside from adding in a multivitamin and a magnesium supplement, a boron supplement is one of the better supplements in order to kind of just round out your nutrient intake for the purpose of increasing testosterone. Now, with all of that being said, there is another mineral supplement that I do like to recommend that I would somewhat consider a foundational supplement, even though it's not necessarily, and that is a supplement known as Shilajit. Now, Shilajit has been getting a lot of attention lately for its ability to improve cognition and improve energy levels and mood, but it also appears to have some sort of regulatory function when it comes to testosterone production. And the reason for this is that it's extremely dense in several types of minerals, including macro minerals and trace minerals. Now, one of the reasons that makes Shilajit such a fantastic mineral supplement, aside from the dozens of minerals that are found in Shilajit specifically, is how Shilajit is actually formed. Shilajit is kind of like this black tar-like substance that is formed over thousands of years from the decomposition of plant matter. Now, typically speaking, plants aren't a fantastic source of minerals, as we've previously talked about, because of the phytic acid and the oxalates that are found in these plants that bind to these minerals and render them unable to be absorbed by your body. However, when plants go through a decomposition process like they do during the production of Shilajit, the decomposition process actually breaks down the bond between the minerals and phytate and oxalate. There's this compound that gets produced during the production of Shilajit that's known as fulvic acid that chelates the minerals away from phytic acid and oxalate. And because of this, the minerals that are found in Shilajit are very bioavailable. Now, there does appear to be some other medicinal compounds that are found in Shilajit that can lead to things like improvements in cognition, mood, and energy levels. However, because it's such a fantastic source of minerals, and because there is a solid amount of evidence to suggest that it can, in fact, increase testosterone levels in men, I do typically like to consider it more of a foundational supplement than anything. Now, aside from the foundational supplements of a multivitamin, magnesium, boron, and Shilajit, there's also a category of supplements that I like to call complementary supplements that aren't absolutely needed by your body in order to operate properly, but can be leveraged in certain circumstances to increase testosterone levels. And the first one on this list is ashwagandha. Now, I've made a handful of videos over the year that dive extremely deep into my thoughts on ashwagandha and why I'm a fairly big fan of it in the right context. But the primary reason that I'm such a big fan of ashwagandha in the right context is because of the amount of clinical data to suggest that it can actually increase testosterone in healthy, active males, which is extremely rare. Now, there have been a handful of supplements and nutrients over the years that have been tested and show promise at increasing testosterone levels in hypogonadal men, in fertile men, as well as in rodents. However, there's only a select few supplements that have ever been shown in a clinical setting to increase testosterone levels in healthy, active young males, and ashwagandha is one of those supplements. Now, the primary means by which ashwagandha is able to increase testosterone levels is by reducing cortisol levels and stress levels, as well as influencing thyroid hormone levels, and by influencing various neurotransmitter pathways, all of which seem to have have a positive regulatory function on the production of testosterone. However, it's worth noting here that the reason it's considered to be complementary is because if you take ashwagandha for too long, or if you take too high of a dosage without taking frequent and regular breaks, there does tend to be some side effects to look out for, namely depressive-like symptoms. And the reason for this is that ashwagandha, because it's so effective at reducing stress levels, can actually cause depression if you're not actually stressed out, because the stress response is actually a response that helps to motivate you and to get you going to actually do things. If you blunt that response too much or too often or too hard, it can lead to depression-like symptoms. And because of this, unless you actually have lower levels of testosterone, or unless you're taking frequent breaks from ashwagandha use, there are a few caveats to be aware of before you start taking something like ashwagandha. And then another supplement that fits into the same category as ashwagandha would be something like Tongkat Ali, which also has been shown in a clinical setting to increase testosterone levels in young, healthy, active males. So Tongkat Ali and ashwagandha are essentially the only two herbal supplements that have ever been shown to do this, and it's why I kind of group these together as complementary supplements. Now, another reason that Tongkat Ali is considered to be a complementary supplement is, like ashwagandha, it is an herbal supplement and has historically been looked at as a temporary fix to issues like libido and low testosterone, but there are also some side effects to look out for when it comes to Tongkat Ali use. Now, some of these side effects would include things like insomnia, or even on the flip side of that, some people feel very tired when they take Tongkat Ali, and then some people just get really agitated, and some people also experience joint pain from taking Tongkat Ali. And so, like ashwagandha, Tongkat Ali is not a fail-proof means of increasing testosterone, and because you need to take frequent breaks from it, and because there are side effects that are associated with consuming it for too long or in too high of a dosage, unless you have clinically low testosterone levels or are experiencing an abnormal amount of stress, taking something like Tongkat Ali or ashwagandha should only be taken judiciously. But with that being said, especially in men that are especially stressed out, a lot of men actually prefer the effects of ashwagandha and Tongkat Ali, because both of these molecules and both of these compounds are known to be adaptogens and to help your body to adapt to various stressors. A lot of men that are extremely stressed out actually benefit a lot from taking things like ashwagandha and Tongkat Ali. And so these two compounds can play a fantastic role in the right context, but it's very important to kind of weigh your options and to be aware of the potential downsides as well as the potential upsides before taking something like these. Now, in my opinion, these are the top 6 supplements that any man should consider taking if he's trying to optimize his testosterone levels. However, with that being said, I also want to cover some more experimental options as well, and these would be supplements that either don't have a ton of clinical research yet, but do have some research in rodents, or supplements that theoretically, through their nutrient activity, could potentially also improve testosterone production. And the first one I want to talk about is fish oil. Now, I am a huge fan of fish oil, not because of its potential ability to increase testosterone levels, but because of just the general health properties of consuming something like fish oil. Now, if you consume plenty of fish throughout the week, taking a fish oil, again, is not absolutely necessary. However, most people are not consuming a lot of fish, and the omega-3 fatty acids that are found in fish oil are extremely beneficial to inflammatory pathways, cognitive function, and even things like mood. And because of its potent anti-inflammatory properties, it does appear, and it's possible that it can help to influence and regulate the HPG axis, which is essentially the axis between the brain and the testes, and the communication between the brain to tell the testes to produce testosterone. And by modulating the inflammatory pathway, it might improve this communication testosterone and thereby improve testosterone production secondarily. Now, another experimental nutrient that may or may not increase testosterone, the evidence is extremely mixed on this one, is creatine. And again, creatine, like fish oil, because it's such a potent supplement for the purpose of increasing muscle mass in the similar way that fish oil is extremely potent at reducing inflammation. Because creatine is so effective at increasing muscle mass and improving cellular energy production, it's one of those supplements that even if it doesn't increase testosterone, if you're not getting a lot of creatine through meat consumption, or even if you are, supplementing with creatine can provide you with some level of benefit to overall physique, obviously, but also to energy levels, cognitive function, and potentially testosterone levels. And then another supplement that I like to put on the experimental list is taurine. And the reason for this is that taurine appears to be extremely potent at increasing testicular antioxidant capacity. Now, it has never been shown to increase testosterone in any type of human setting. However, it has been shown to increase testosterone in rodents. And so again, even if taurine does not increase testosterone, because it's such a potent antioxidant and has many other influences on bodily function, you should at least prioritize taurine content through food consumption. And if you're not able to do that, consider supplementation. Now, another experimental nutrient that I like to throw on this list is D-aspartic acid. And this one actually has a fair amount of evidence to suggest that in some situations it might actually increase testosterone. And the reason for this is that D-aspartic acid, when ingested, is an amino acid that can be stored in certain regions of the brain and actually directly stimulate the production of luteinizing hormone, which is the hormone that travels from the brain to the testes to stimulate testosterone production. So because D-aspartic acid in certain circumstances might actually increase this hormone, D-aspartic acid is another supplement that I like to put on the experimental list. Now, D-aspartic acid appears to be especially beneficial in the instance of hypogonadism and infertility. And so if you do have clinically low testosterone or have clinical hypogonadism, D-aspartic acid is probably actually going to be one of your better options because of the amount of clinical research to suggest that it can actually increase testosterone in that specific subpopulation. Now, aside from all of these experimental nutrients, there's also a handful of experimental herbal supplements that I like to throw on the experimental list, and that would include things like Coleus fuscoli, eucunoperians, ginger, as well as royal jelly. And all of these have various mechanisms that some of which we don't even really understand quite yet, but there's varying levels of evidence, at least in rodents and sometimes even in humans, to suggest that in certain situations and circumstances that they might increase testosterone. However, because the evidence is fairly weak and the mechanisms of action are fairly unknown, I do like to simply consider them to be experimental options after all the other options have been exhausted. And that is what I would consider to be the complete list of supplements that could be used to optimize testosterone levels. The foundational supplements, the complementary supplements, as well as the experimental options. However, I do feel like I would be remiss if I did not also mention some of the more popular supplements that are often touted to increase testosterone that I would not include in your regimen. And those would include things like fenugreek, tribulus, cistanche, maca, dim, saw palmetto, panax ginseng, green tea, garlic, onion, stinging nettle, horny goatweed, and pomegranate. Now, it's a hair out of the scope of this video to dive super deep into all of these and to explain why I'm not a huge fan of them. However, in general, most of these supplements either don't have any clinical research whatsoever to support their ability to increase testosterone, or have weak evidence in animals, or might actually increase testosterone but do it through weird mechanisms that aren't necessarily beneficial overall. And so because of this, I don't like to include these in any of my clients' protocols, and I hope that you don't as well. Now, I do want to finish this video by stating that one of the most important factors when it comes to optimizing testosterone production is not supplementation, but is all the other lifestyle factors that are going into your lifestyle, including your diet. And so on this note, if you're looking for help in developing a personalized dietary protocol to help optimize hormone function as well as physical performance, mental performance, and just overall health, please feel free to reach out. I am taking a few more clients at the moment, and so make sure to check out the link down below. There is a link to hop on a free call with me. So again, if you're interested in that, I look forward to talking with you. But other than that, I think I will see you guys next time.